All right, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about unique identifiers and why they're important for our data. And I will be showing you what to do in case your data set does not already include a unique identifier. The file for this is down below, so feel free to access it to work alongside me. Otherwise, you could access it at any time to do it at your own pace. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. So, what is a unique identifier? A unique identifier is a value such as an ID that is assigned to a record that ensures that it can be individually distinguished from all other records. So, for example, as you can see, Elizabeth Meyer is highlighted in this. This data set is showing exam by course type with the exam score by student. So as you can see, there's 3 records in here for Elizabeth Meyer. One is for her literature exam, the other one is for a mathematics exam, and the other one is for a psychology exam. Now, each of Elizabeth's exams have their own unique ID. So the first one is 1, 2, and then the last one is 18. So these IDs will identify Elizabeth's 3 exams from one another. So that is the definition of a unique identifier. So why are unique identifiers important? All right, let's take a look. They're important because when you're comparing data sets, you need a unique ID to look up in order to bring in that exact value. So starting with a summary with an ID tab, we are going to look up the exam scores for all of these students. Okay, so we'll start with a VLOOKUP. And we're going to look up based off of the ID. So we'll select A2, comma, go over to our data set. We will look up the ID and we want it to return the exam score. So we'll highlight all the way over to the exam score, comma, 6, since it's the 6th column, comma, false, and parenthesis. Okay. All right. So we'll drag that down. Okay, we have our exam scores here. Now, because we have this unique ID, it was able to look up Elizabeth for her literature exam using 1 as the ID, pulled in her 60. For her mathematics, she scored a 95, and then for her psychology, she got a 61. Okay, that works because we have a unique ID. Now, what if we didn't have a unique ID? What if we tried to look up Elizabeth's exams or any other student's exams just using their name? Okay, so we'll do that. Select their name, go over to our data set. We will select 5 to return the exam score and enter. And then we'll drag this down or double click on it to go down. All right, so now let's look at Elizabeth. So for her literature exam, it's returning a 60. That checks. Okay, for Elizabeth's mathematics exam, weird, it's also returning a 60. For Elizabeth's psychology exam, it's also returning a 60. It's because we're using a VLOOKUP to look up only based off of her name. And it is finding the first instance of Elizabeth and returning only that score. So it doesn't know the difference between Elizabeth's literature exam or her mathematics exam or her psychology exam. Okay, so now that we know that, how can we prevent this if we didn't have this ID field? So let's go to the summary without ID. Okay, so let's create a unique identifier. So here you can see we don't have any kind of ID to look up off of our data set to return our exam score. So we need to create a unique identifier. So to do that, a little trick I've learned is you do equals and you find 2 common fields that together would be very unique. So we could use their first name, okay? So we'll select A2. Then we want to insert the and symbol. Okay, so this is like a concatenation. So this is going to combine 2 values in a cell together. Say and we could select email But is that gonna make it unique? No, we'll have to select course title. So we'll select the title of the course. Okay, so now it gives us this. Gives us this name and then the course at the end. So let's drag that down. Okay. So we have this on our lookup data set. Now we have to do a similar thing on this data set. So let's just override this ID column for a second. And let's put the same formula. So we'll do and course title, enter. And then we'll drag this down. Okay. Now going back to our summary without an ID, now we have two common, very distinct cells that we can reference to look up her exam scores per her content or per her course title. Okay, so we'll do equals and this time we'll do a VLOOKUP. This time, instead of looking up her name or anything like that, we'll look up that unique ID, comma, go back to your data set. We'll look up the ID and we will return the exam score. And we will drag down. Now you can see Elizabeth Myers again. All of her exam scores are coming in at their own unique score instead of 60, 60, 60 like we saw when we just looked up her name. So using a unique identifier will help you to bridge the gap between two different data sets so you can do these unique lookups when there's similar fields. If you liked this content, please follow or subscribe and stick around for more. Thank you.